Hey, what is going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for another Breakfast with TNC, where you get to see what I eat, plus I bring you all of the latest Norwich City news and all the exciting Norwich City news. Now, this morning it's a bit confusing. I got up too late to have breakfast, so I had lunch. Now, I wanted lunch before I filmed this, so I filmed it before it, so you're not seeing me eating that, but you are seeing what I've got having for dessert. A bit of leftover stuff from Easter, peanut, butter, Reese's egg. This thing is chocolate filled with peanut butter. Honestly, if you haven't already had a Reese's anything, just go and do it. Just go and do it. Oh my God. So good. Nearly as good as a Martin Olsen last minute winner. Actually, nowhere near it. Anyway, in my TNC mug, got some water. This throat is still a bit tickly. We've got Norwich City to blame for that. Have a sip of that, and let's get straight into the news. So, first thing from Michael Bailey on the EDP. Love Michael Bailey, love the EDP, love Norwich City. Perfect combination for the first bit of news. So, he's done his 6 things we learnt from the game at the weekend. And one of these, all of them are really good, but the most interesting one that I haven't really thought of is the Swansea loss could have been a pivotal moment in our season. Now, probably for the wrong reasons, but we found a positive from that. Well, Michael has anyway, and he said that if it wasn't for that Swansea game where we risked Robbie Brady and he went off injured, we would have never seen what Martin Olsen had to offer because he just wasn't getting played. Brady was at left back, and then we had either Jarvis or someone else at left wing, or Houlihan mainly. Martin Olsen has now come into this team. Not only did he score the last minute winner, which was obviously great, but he's not in there to do that. He's in there to defend, and he's in there to give Robbie Brady freedom going forwards. Now, he's done both of them so well. And we would have never have known that going into the rest of the season. And this is something, this is a pattern I'm seeing with Alex Neil now. Cast your mind back to the last season when we lost 2-1 to, was it 2-1 or 2-0 to Brentford at home? Loads of fans were going like, right, this is the playoffs over now. We're not even going to get there. We did get the playoffs. The rest is history. But we learned a lot of lessons in that game. We didn't, Alex Neil did. We learned that Stephen Whittaker wasn't a central midfielder. And we learned a lot of other things that I can't really remember, but I can remember thinking Alex Neil knows what he's doing. He knows that mistakes happen, but the best thing to do is rectify them. Alex Neil has done that consistently throughout this season, and that's why I genuinely believe when all the other opposition fans and all the other pundits are saying otherwise, I genuinely believe that Alex Neil is a top draw manager. So, basically, it says here, Alex Neil gambled on Robbie Brady staying fit after all, even the loss of 2 teeth in a chip. A third didn't force him off against Chelsea, and then he goes and gets injured in the defeat at Swansea. The one time Martin Olsen wasn't given a place on the bench. So Martin Olsen comes in and does good things. And the final line, which really sums it up, some things happen for a reason and only hindsight adds context. But maybe Swansea had its positives. Well, that's a lovely final line from Michael there on the EDP. And, positives do sometimes come from negatives. The next one we're going to, the Chronicle Live, which I believe is the main newspaper in Newcastle. The headline is Andros Townsend picks only positive from Newcastle's devastating loss to Norris. That's how bad it was for Newcastle. And well, if it was us who would have conceded a last-minute winner to Newcastle, then I would have been broken. I really would have done. And we nearly did if it wasn't for John Ruddy, but I'll get to that later. Andros Townsend believes the only positive Newcastle United can take from their devastating defeat was their second half fight back. He said, we're obviously devastated to have got back into the game twice, only to then lose it again. That's devastating, but there are 7 games left and we're not out of it yet. So the players obviously believe, they're obviously not going to say, yeah, we're down. I think it's going to be too much for Newcastle now. 6 points behind us. Still a few points behind Sunderland. Obviously, it's not over, of course. They could go and win maybe 3 on the bounce. They didn't look too shabby, but I genuinely question if some of the players in there really want it, and that's the most worrying thing. I watched True Geordie's video, absolutely hilarious stuff from him. But he basically said they've got a lot of talent in that team. They spent £80 million, but do the players really want it? Probably not as much as they should do. The next one in here is from Paddy Davitt, once again on the EDP. The title is Do You Want Some? You want some? Norwich City in no mood to take a backward step in the Premier League survival stakes. Now, I was reading an article earlier on a Sunderland website that I haven't included in here because it was just chock-a-block with ads, and I hate that. Like the ones where they just pop up everywhere. It was horrible. But basically, I did read the article eventually when I was clicking off all these ads, and it said that Sunderland have been in the position of Norwich a few times in the past 5 years, and they've always gone on a run at the end of the season. It seems this season, the two northern clubs aren't going to do that. Luck's not going their way. Sunderland should have really won their last 4 games, all winnable games, and they were in positions to win them. They didn't. Norwich City, us, are now starting to pick up the points. But Alex Neil basically just saying here, just praising up his players and saying that they're not the soft team that some people think he put. Maybe in seasons gone by, Norwich have looked as having a soft underbelly, said Alex Neil. I don't think we have anything like a soft underbelly. We have a fighting tooth and nail for every single point, and we will never give in until the final minute. Now, I've certainly questioned some of the players this season, and it's easy to question players when you're losing, but Saturday gave me such joy and such, it was just, that's why I love Norwich City, just fighting until the death. Martin Olsen, what a fantastic finish. I've got goosebumps thinking about it. Like the way Carrow just erupted, and everything about it was just so perfect. And I think the Man City game was the defining game for us, where things started to change and we started to play good football, and then the win to West Brom was just vital, and then the win against Newcastle was even more vital. Now we travel to Palace with lots of hope, and then a massive game against Sunderland. You get through the next 2 games as well as we have the last 3, you start to think, hang on a minute, we're probably safe this season. And then he went to give real credit to Mbokani. Paddy Davitt wrote, Mbokani typified that spirit with a marauding display capped with a ferocious strike. After the build-up dominated the on-loan's frontman's unforeseen involvement in the recent Brussels terror atrocities, which obviously Chris was talking about on the channel, that it was just so fitting for Mbokani to get the goal. What a great goal it was. Alex Neil said his goal was magnificent, and to be honest, I thought his performance was magnificent. And I completely agree. I thought Mbokani probably put his best performance in for a Norwich City player. Chris Elliott described it as the perfect number 9's performance. He held the ball up well. We've seen parts of this, certainly in the second half against West Brom last week, where he was just so good at holding the ball up, but we've never seen such an all-round great performance. The movement for the first goal that was offside, the movement for the second goal, the second shot, which was so brilliantly saved by Darlow, and then the third goal, just a ferocious strike that we haven't seen from Mbokani. That's now, what is it, 5-6 goals this season for him. He's really starting to come into play, and we need that goal scorer, which is really great. And then finally, on the Little Yellow Bird project run by the brilliant John and Dan, go and support this website. It's fantastic. It's completely different to anything you'll ever see. It's very comedic, but it's brilliant nonetheless. And they basically put, Redmond's return is huge. Huge with 2 O's in. That means it's huge. And I'm not going to read it out because it's a very long paragraph and it's very funny, and I'm not very good at conveying comedy, but it is massive that Redmond is back, and it just shows that luck is finally starting to go our way. The injury, he was meant to be out until the end of the season. He's come back, and we need Nathan Redmond in that team. He's a good player. Maybe he's not a player that should be starting every game, but he's got so much flair about him. He's young, he's hungry, and we've seen that Nathan Redmond is traditionally good with run-ins, especially last season, the goal against Ipswich, the goal at Wembley. He likes big occasions, it seems, Nathan Redmond, so it's fantastic to have Nathan Redmond back at the helm. And finally, also, let's just pull up a quick tweet from Chris Reeve, TalkNorwichCity's own Chris Reeve, and he's basically just put a screenshot of the Who Scored Team of the Week, and Diamersi and Mbokani's in there alongside Sergio Aguero up front. So Mbokani gets the recognition he deserves this week, and Norwich City, what a fantastic weekend it was, and what a brilliant way to wake up on a Monday morning knowing that your team has put everything they possibly can into it, and we got a massive win in a game that we really needed to win. So it's brilliant. I'm going to continue tucking into my Reese's chocolate egg and finishing off my water. Also, Do you want to buy some Talk Norwich City mugs? I've seen loads of people comment on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube saying they want a Talk Norwich City mug because they just don't feel like they're drinking in fashion at the moment. You need a Talk Norwich City mug in your life, guys. I could probably sell them for maybe like £7, something like that. Leave it with me if you want them. Chuck it in the comments alongside all of your comments regarding the latest Norwich City news, and just celebrate. Just go mad in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, and yeah, I'll see you later. Peace out.